Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. We appreciate you guys commenting on our report last week. We got into some details about some things going on and talked about maybe holding back our heifers and growing them out because of the price difference. And thank you for your comments. Let's hear some more of what your ideas are, and we'll kind of maybe some of us will learn something, hopefully. Let's start off this report with the second chance sale. This coming weekend is Easter and Good Friday's this Friday, Easter Sunday, and let's all remember what that's about. And because we're given a chance here for redemption. And there's another sale, there's a sale going on April the 6th on Saturday. April the 6th, that's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, that gives these kids a second chance that didn't make the show with their 4-H and FFA projects. If you had a hog or a steer that maybe didn't quite make the weigh-in, or the record keeping wasn't just exactly right, and you weren't allowed to sell your animal, show your animal at the fair, well, here's your second chance to get things right here at Okeechobee Livestock Market, April 6th. The sale's at 1 o'clock, I believe. If you're interested in buying, helping these kids out, giving them a second chance, call the office, 863-763-3127. Call us if you're interested in participating in that April 6th second chance sale. Help these kids out. That sale's Saturday, April 6th at 1 o'clock. Call the office for more information. We reported and talked about the legislation opposing allowing imports from Paraguay into the U.S. because Paraguay is known to be a hoof and mouth disease infected country, and Lord knows we don't need that here in our country.
In November of 2023, the Biden administration released a new rule to allow for beef imports from Paraguay, a country that has historically struggled to contain outbreaks of foot and mouth disease in their cattle herds. The United States has been blocking beef imports from Paraguay since 1997. The USDA's decision to resume Paraguayan imports relies on an analysis that was completed in 2018, but American inspectors have not conducted a site visit to Paraguay since 2014. American producers work tirelessly to produce the safest, highest quality, and most affordable beef in the entire world. Our consumers should be able to confidently feed their families beef that has met the rigorous standards required within the United States.
You know, Senator Rounds comes from South Dakota. I come from Montana. These are both states where we raise a lot of beef. And if you come from a state like that, you understand how catastrophic lifting the ban on Paraguayan beef is. It is not a good idea. In our states, lifting this ban is not supported by Democrats, it's not supported by Republicans, and the reason is pretty simple. The impacts that lifting this ban has on operations, ranching operations, and our food security is real, and it's very, very, very serious.
It got legs, and it passed. It went through the legislation, and so that resolution, Joint Resolution 62, I think it was, passed. And they said to call the switchboard up there, which I never usually do. I just email them. You can email Rick Scott or Marco Rubio. But if you've got that, just put that switchboard number in your phone. It was so easy. Dial that number. The lady answers. It might have been automated, but they send you straight to the senator's office. And then if they're there, they'll talk to you. If not, they tell you to leave your comment, tell them what you're calling about, and you can just leave it right there on the switchboard. It's so easy. So any of these issues that we're talking about, if you're for or against, whatever it is, let them know, because they're there for us. We elected them, we put them there to help us, and they're working for us. So let's put them to work. Use that switchboard number. It's pretty easy. So we're at a new level. These prices nowadays, and I've been using, and I know my brother used on a report that he did, the word crazy. Prices are crazy, and we're just not used to them. We're not used to this level of prices, but this is the new level. And we need to put that in our mind that, yeah, they're a lot higher, maybe double than what they were last year, but we all know, if you're in the cattle raising business, if you've got a ranch and you've got cows and you're trying to make ends meet with cows on a ranch, that this is the level of prices that they need to be at. They need to be where they are. And I did some numbers on that just to kind of break it down. If the packers now are getting box beef prices, they're a little over $3 a pound. I know choice is maybe $3.15, and I mean prime is $3.15, and the select is $2.98 or $3. There's a little bit of difference in that, but let's just say that if box beef prices were at $3.10, and that's pretty close, and the carcasses on these animals coming out of the feedlots, when they're processed, the carcass weight is over 900 pounds. I think last week it was 922. So do the math. Do 920 pound carcass at $3.10 a pound. That's over $2,800 for one carcass. And that's what we're working with. Now, can the packers, ship that box beef out to the retail stores and sell it and move it at that price? So far, we are. Maybe there's some resistance on some of the higher end cuts, I'm not sure. But meat is moving off the counter at this level. So that's where the packer is. The feedlot, cattle coming out of the feedlot, right now weighing, let's say the steers weighing 1,400 pounds at $1.85, which is a conservative number. But let's just say that. So fats, the fat cattle being bought out of the feedlots are bringing $2,600. So the packers, that's a $200 margin there. The feeders that are going into the feedlot, these feeder yearlings going into the feedlots, weighing 850, are bringing $280, $285. Let's figure that at $2,400. So there's $200 profit. The backgrounders who buy the cattle from the growers, the ranchers, the backgrounders, those cattle going into those backgrounding facilities, let's say they're weighing 650 at a little over $3 a pound. That's $2,000. There's a good little margin right there. And then the calves that are running across the sale barns, being traded every week right now, on the 5-weight calves, and I'm just using a 550 pound calf, steers and heifers combined, at a value of roughly $2.90 a pound, kind of based on what the conditions are here in Florida. That's $1,600. Now we say that's a lot of money. And when you're picking your check up and you look at that, my God, you're happy, because it's a lot more than what it's ever been being. But you take the $1,600, and that's a $200 spread between that calf and what the backgrounders getting, and the feeder, and then the fat cattle. There's about a $200 or better $200 difference or profit at each one of those levels. If everybody can make, if you could make $200 a head on every head you had, I think that would be pretty good. The other side of that, from the rancher, and I'm just using some round figures again, and you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong, but what does it cost? What is your flat cost if you, per 100 head of cows, and just use 100 head of cows, you've got, you don't owe anything on them, you own the land or you rent the land, you own the cows, you've got taxes, insurance, feed, fuel, fertilizer, you've got labor, you've got replacement costs to replace your old cows when you sell them, your old bulls. You've got all those things you've got to do. So let's just use a number of $1,000 per head. $1,000 per cow cost to stay in business. And out of those 100 head of cows, if you're lucky or doing a pretty decent job, you're going to get 85% calves, 85 calves out of 100 that you're going to be able to sell. That's your income, that's your crop, that's your cash crop. And if you've got 85 calves at that $1,600 price that we just talked about, and that's based on a 550-pound steer and heifer combined, $1,600 on 85 head of your calves that you sold, that's $136,000. And it cost you all your input costs and everything, $100,000. You cleared $36,000. Does that sound like you're rolling in the dough? No. Does it mean that you're going to be able to keep operating? Are you going to be able to operate next year at that level? You should be able to. You're not going to be able to live off of that, but it's going to be able to hold your ranch together. It's going to be able to keep you in the business. So my point is, with all that being said, at the level where prices are today, even at that level, and you're making a little bit of money, you're not getting rich in the cattle business, but you're able to sustain the business, your cattle producing business. And if you have any other numbers or any other ideas about that, let me know, because I'm saying that we are where we need to be. This new level needs to be maintained for cattle beef production in our state and probably across the country. To be sustainable, we've got to keep these prices at this level. And we saw already this week, you've heard about the bird flu, some dairy cattle in Texas and Kansas and I think New Mexico were infected with and they said it was a wild bird. I don't know what kind of wild bird it was, but they said some cattle at a dairy were infected by this bird influenza. It gets in the cattle and makes the milk like colostrum, real thick, and they can't use it. They have to put it in the pot. You know, they can't put it for human consumption, so they had to take that milk out of production. This is the bird flu thing in the dairies. There's nothing harmful to humans. The milk that goes through the processing, through the milk production process, is pasteurized. That kills all the viruses and makes that milk clean and pure, and you don't have to worry about that. None of this stuff is entering into the market, into the retail stores or anything, so it's all safe. It's no problem. And this bird flu is a flu, and it lasts, they say, 10 to 14 days, and the cow gets over it and everything goes back to normal. Yeah, it's hurting the dairy's production for sure. Milk production there at these infected farms is going to be hurt, but it's going to run its course and everything should come out okay on the end. But just one little deal like that, and the futures board was off, I don't know, 300 points one day and off again the next day, and whatever, some little something comes around, and that's all it takes for whoever, investors, speculators, or whoever drives the board down or up to manipulate it, cause the board and the futures to go down, which you would think would affect cash prices, but it didn't. Calves sold just as good, maybe even a little bit higher this week. In slaughter classes, the cows and bulls were even, they quoted them $5 to $10 higher. We had a bull, Jay Walpole sold with 2 head yesterday, but this was an outstanding bull that weighed 2,100 and something pounds and brought $1.70 a pound. Unbelievable, right? But when you you back that off into the meat, which I did, I figured the carcass, the bull meat, would back down into $2.90. $2.90 for the processed part of the bull after he's processed. $2.90, which sounds a little high, but it's really not. So these prices are where they need to be, and we're happy to see them like that. We're seeing these 600-pound calves bumping $3 a pound. We're seeing 4-weight calves bringing $4 and something cent a pound, and it's very good to see these prices. And now what we got to do is try to find some way to keep them at this level, and let's not let the packers get control and go buy up a huge supply of cattle on formulas or contracts that they can gather cattle around them and have enough supply that they don't have to be active and competitive in the negotiated price buying process. And we've got to keep that level of competition out there and make these packers go out there and compete for these cattle, which they're doing now, but we got to keep it that way if there's somehow we can do it. This week's high prices are from two individuals that I know really, really well. On the calf side, Terry Daniel. Terry, you topped the calf market with a 265-pound calf that brought $4.75, and that calf was bought by DNS. We thank you, Terry, and thank you for all the years that you worked here at the market. We miss you. We hope you're doing well. Good little calf too. And on the cow side, Rick Hartman, you did it. You topped the cow market. You had a 1,410-pound cow that brought $1.53, and that cow was bought by Florida Beef. Good job, Rick. So that's my thoughts for the week. Hope you guys have a good Easter weekend, and Good Friday. We're going to be closed off here, and let's just remember what that day means to all of us, and enjoy your time with your families this weekend. We thank you for your business. Thank you for listening in to these reports, and we'll keep you posted. Have a good week. Thank you.